and rescue. We never know what we're going to come up against. For this upcoming season, just be prepared to be caught off guard. You know, some people love surprises. I definitely am one of those that do not.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's cute! Say, were you talking smack? You talking smack?
Yeah.
And then the name stuck. A home check may seem like it's pretty straightforward.
Tia Torres became a household name as the fearless leader of Pit Bulls and Parolees, dedicating her life to rescuing misunderstood dogs and giving second chances to those society often cast aside. For 3 decades, her unwavering mission inspired millions, turning Villalobos Rescue Center into one of the largest pit bull sanctuaries in the world. But then, the show suddenly ended. Fans were left wondering, what really happened? From financial struggles and relocation battles to behind-the-scenes challenges, Tia faced more than just the end of a TV show. She faced a fight for survival. In this documentary, we uncovered the truth behind the cancellation, the hardships she endured, and where she is now. Has she managed to keep her rescue mission alive, or has life after Pit Bulls and Parolees taken an unexpected turn? Stay with us as we explore the untold story of Tia Torres. Tia's roots of resilience. Tia Maria Torres was born in Southern California on June 11, 1960. Her parents separated when she was young, and her stepmother became a significant figure in her life. Tia always remembered her with love, calling her Mom. Her childhood was not always easy, but it gave her a strong sense of caring for others, whether they were people or animals. Growing up, Tia was always around animals. Dogs, cats, and even horses were part of her everyday life. She imagined having a family that included all kinds of creatures. Her stepmother believed animals were Mother Nature's gifts, and she taught Tia important lessons about being strong and disciplined. These lessons were especially important because the family didn't have much money. Because her father wasn't around, Tia became even closer to the animals. They showed her that you could find loyalty and love even when you least expect it. When Tia was 17, she left home. She wasn't alone, though. She took 2 Arabian horses, an Angora goat, and her favorite dog, a Catahoula leopard dog named Cougar. She traveled around, having many adventures, but also facing tough times. Sometimes she didn't have a place to live and had to sleep in a truck or a horse trailer. Even though it was hard, this time in her life made her bond with animals even stronger. It also made her even more determined to help them. These difficult years taught Tia to be tough and to understand how much animals can give us with their unconditional love. A life dedicated to rescue and redemption.
I walked out backstage before the show started just to tell her how much I admire her. What you do, what you devote your life to is so admirable. It's amazing.
Tia's life took some surprising turns. She was in the military, drove a truck, and then worked as a counselor for young gang members in Los Angeles. This job showed her the tough realities of city life, as she worked with teens at risk and people who didn't have much. It was a hard and sometimes risky job, but it taught her a lot about helping people who were vulnerable. This experience would be very important later in her life. A chance meeting at an animal shelter in Los Angeles changed everything. It was there that she first met pit bulls, a type of dog that people often misunderstand and treat badly. One pit bull, who was brindle-colored, had been taken from a place where a violent crime happened. Even though the dog had been through a lot, it was surprisingly gentle and quickly became friends with Tia's young daughters. This sweet interaction showed Tia that the negative things people said about pit bulls weren't true. It had a big effect on her. Even though there were rules against adopting pit bulls in the area, Tia was determined. Because she worked with animal control, she was able to get the dog and take it home. That dog, named Tatanka, was the first pit bull Tia rescued. It was the start of her life's work. At first, her rescue center, Villalobos, was a place for wolves and wolf dog mixes. Later, Tia started to take in pit bulls too, trying to change how people thought about these dogs. She started the Pit Bull Support Group in March 1999, working with Los Angeles Animal Services. The group helped pit bull owners by offering things like low-cost spaying and neutering, training classes, and other important support. The group was surprisingly successful for over 11 years, showing how much Tia helped both animals and people. While she was building her animal rescue, Tia started to hire people who had been in prison. She began with just one person who had recently been released. Soon, she was helping 2 teenage brothers, who were friends of her daughters, and were having trouble getting started in life. This simple act of kindness became a key part of her mission, giving chances to people that society often forgets. These 2 young men, Kanani and Kelly Chalk, often referred to as Mo, became important members of her growing family. They helped at the rescue and found a stable place in its supportive environment. The Villalobos Rescue Center became more than just a place for animals. It was a safe place for both animals and people who wanted a new beginning. Tia's special way of combining animal rescue with helping people got her noticed in the community. An article in Los Angeles magazine talked about her work, praising her kindness and her amazing contributions to the community. The article caught the eye of TV producers. At first, Tia didn't want to be in the public eye, but she agreed to a TV show because donations were getting low. The show Pit Bulls and Parolees was a big hit, bringing a lot of attention to Villalobos and helping them get more adoptions and donations. But this success wouldn't last forever. A fresh start in New Orleans.
So how did you start exactly? Tell people how you got to, you have 200 dogs right now?
About 200 to 250 pit bulls we have.
So you started with you rescued one?
About 14 years ago, it was just by chance I happened to be at a local animal shelter where they brought in a little pit bull from a big crime scene.
Things got tough for Villalobos. The economy in California wasn't doing well, and new rules made it harder to run the rescue. Tia faced problems she couldn't overcome, so she made a big decision. She would move everything to New Orleans. This included over 200 pit bulls, many other animals, her 4 children, and several people who had been in prison. She chose New Orleans because she felt a strong connection to the city. She had helped with the Hurricane Katrina relief efforts there. New Orleans, with its special character and Tia's connections to the people, seemed like a good place for Villalobos to start over. The move wasn't just about changing location. It showed how determined Tia was to keep doing her important work. She was determined to make sure her rescue, and all the lives it touched, would have a future. This big change was a turning point. It shows the strength and dedication that have always been a part of Tia Torres' life and her mission. Her story continues to give hope to people who are often forgotten, and shows how powerful kindness and never giving up can be. The problems in California, especially the stricter rules and high costs for kennel permits in Los Angeles County, were too much to handle. These problems only made her more determined. In 2010, she started what became a huge undertaking, moving Villalobos across the country. This wasn't just about paperwork and planning. It meant physically moving hundreds of rescued pit bulls. Her moving team was a great example of her ability to find solutions. She used moving trucks, a converted motorhome which she called the doggy limo, and even a school bus to safely transport the dogs. The journey itself was a test of her strength. She had to make many trips across the country, and each one had its problems and challenges. Finally, on January 1st, 2011, Tia arrived in Louisiana with the last 50 dogs. This marked the official beginning of Villalobos' new home. This wasn't the end of her difficulties, but it was a very important turning point. What started as one place in Louisiana quickly grew. It became a large rescue organization with several locations in Louisiana and Texas. Today, Villalobos is one of the biggest pit bull rescue centers in the world. It shows Tia's good business sense, her never-ending compassion, and her deep love for the animals she cares for. Tia's unbreakable spirit. Tia's own life has had its share of difficulties. Her childhood wasn't easy, and this set the stage for a life filled with surprises and changes. Her marriage to Aaron Marcus Jackson, a man with a well-known criminal past, including a serious gunfight with the police, made her already busy life even more complicated. Even though he had a troubled past, they got married in 2006 after he got out of prison. This shows how much she believes in giving people second chances. Their marriage eventually ended in divorce, Tia shared this news publicly in a Facebook post in 2018, showing that she is open and honest even when dealing with personal struggles. Being a mother has also been a big part of her life. She has 4 children, her daughters, Tia Torres, and Mariah Clementine, who is also now divorced, and her adopted twin sons, Kanani and Mo. These 4 children are an important part of the Villalobos family. They help run the rescue center and show the same compassion and belief in second chances that their mother has. Despite all the challenges she has faced, both personally and in her work, Tia continues to be completely dedicated. She is still actively involved in rescuing animals and helping people who have been in prison. This shows how much she believes that both animals and people can change for the better. She is fully committed to Villalobos, making sure that every dog in her care gets the love, attention, and support they need to be happy and healthy. Besides running the rescue, she is also working to promote the Rabid Reality network. This is a way to spread the word about Villalobos, raise awareness, and get the money they need to keep going.
That's what this program teaches. It teaches responsibility, to be a responsible dog owner and a pit bull owner.
Tia's main goal is to be a voice for animal welfare. She wants to show everyone how important it is to help animals recover and have good lives. She also wants to change the way people think about pit bulls, as there are many incorrect ideas about them. At the same time, she wants to change how people see those who have been in trouble with the law. She wants to reach more people with her message of kindness and show how giving second chances can change lives for the better. From rescue mission to TV sensation.
It's a weekly series on Animal Planet, obviously, and it takes the most maligned breed of dog in the entire world and pairs them up with newly released, convicts from prison. And ultimately, they teach each other, compassion and responsibility and ultimately love.
Tia and Villalobos became known across the country through the Animal Planet TV show, Pit Bulls and Parolees. The show started in 2009 and showed what life was like at the rescue center every day. Viewers got to see the challenges and rewards of rescuing and helping pit bulls, while also giving jobs and support to people who had recently been released from prison. Each episode showed how loving these dogs, who are often misunderstood, can be. It also showed how much people can change for the better. Viewers met Tia's family, her daughters, Mariah and Tanya, and her adopted sons, Kanani and Mo, along with their wives, who all became a part of the show. The series followed their move from Agua Dulce, California, to their final home in New Orleans, Louisiana. It also showed their attempt to move to Tehachapi, California, in 2011, which didn't work out. The Tehachapi move failed because Kern County wouldn't give them the permits at the last minute. This was a big financial and emotional setback, showing how difficult it is to run a large animal rescue. Even with this setback, and the damage caused by storms and hurricanes to the New Orleans facility, which was shown in a 2021 episode, Tia kept going. She found a new location and continued to run the rescue. The show ended in 2022, which was a big change. Animal Planet canceled Pit Bulls and Parolees because of changes at Discovery Communications after it was bought by Warner Bros. Discovery. While the show continued to be shown again, losing the steady money from the show created a serious financial problem for Villalobos. The money that had been so important for taking care of hundreds of dogs and paying the rescue staff suddenly disappeared. Tia responded to this challenge with her usual determination. While she said she was disappointed and thanked the show's fans, she quickly started working to make sure Villalobos would continue. The cancellation, though sad at first, only made her more determined. She knew that the end of the show wasn't the end of her mission. She put her energy into starting Rabid Reality, her own online network. This platform lets her talk directly to fans and supporters. She can keep sharing powerful stories, raise money, and stay connected to the community that has supported her work for so many years. For 19 seasons, Pit Bulls and Parolees showed her dedication to changing how people think about pit bulls and giving jobs and second chances to people who have been in prison. While the end of the show closed one chapter, it started a new one. Empowered by her vision and strong spirit, she continues her fight for the animals and people who rely on her kindness and commitment. The legacy of Pit Bulls and Parolees continues, not just through reruns, but through the lasting impact of Tia's work and a legal battle for justice. A legal battle for justice.
Because you take in how many dogs a day and how many do you adopt out?
We get hundreds of calls a week to take them, but the outtake number is quite a lot less,
Even though Villalobos Rescue Center was having trouble because it no longer had its TV show, Tia Torres faced an even bigger challenge, a difficult legal fight. She was sued for a lot of money and for custody of 5 rescued pit bulls, known as the Crescent City 5. Tia stood strong against people she used to know and trust who had betrayed her. These people, whom she had welcomed into her rescue, left behind a terrible mess. There were abandoned and dead dogs, the place was filthy, and they had stolen animals. This awful discovery shocked Tia and her team. They had to clean up the mess and try to get justice for the animals that had suffered. Even though she was heartbroken, Tia refused to give up. She was determined to make sure the Crescent City 5 never went back to the people who had hurt them. This legal battle wasn't just about the dogs. It was about standing up against cruelty and betrayal. The people who had mistreated the animals hadn't just abandoned them in awful conditions. They had also taken 5 dogs that belonged to Villalobos. While they were eventually charged with animal cruelty, stealing, and having guns illegally in Michigan, they did something shocking. They sued Tia in civil court, demanding to get the stolen dogs back. This unbelievable action stunned Tia and her supporters. "Yes, you read this correctly," she said. "The 2 people charged with animal cruelty were suing me to get our VRC dogs back into their custody. Still shaking my head on this one." The thought of these innocent animals going back to the very people who had caused their suffering was too much to bear. Tia knew she had to fight with everything she had. For over a year, Tia was not allowed to talk about the case publicly because of a court order. This was very stressful for her. The lawsuit drained her emotionally and financially, with legal costs reaching $100,000. To keep Villalobos running, Tia had to sell some of the rescue's things, a painful but necessary step to make sure her mission could continue. Still, she didn't give up. "I had to fight because they were not going to give up," she declared. "These dogs deserved better, and I wasn't going to let them fall into the wrong hands again." Her strength in the face of trouble showed that her dedication to her rescue and the animals was unshakable. In the end, justice won. The lawsuit was dismissed, a huge victory for Tia and Villalobos. The Crescent City 5 were no longer stuck in legal limbo and could finally go to loving homes where they would be safe and cared for. The relief was overwhelming, ending a painful time that had troubled Tia for too long. Even though the battle had been hard, the results showed that her unwavering commitment to the dogs was worth every struggle. Looking back, she made it clear that while it was a difficult experience, she had no regrets. Her priority always had been, and always would be, the well-being of the animals. Despite the win, Tia knew her work wasn't finished. She planned to share the whole story and all the proof in a Facebook Live session, so her supporters, who had been following the case since 2018, could finally hear the truth. She also thanked Carolyn J. Penn Martin, a devoted supporter of the Crescent City 5, whose unwavering love and support for the dogs had given her strength during the legal battle. In honor of the Crescent City 5 and in memory of Carolyn, we move forward with renewed hope. "These dogs will finally have the future they always deserved," Tia said. The case might be over, but its impact would always show the strength and determination that define Villalobos Rescue Center. With this behind her, Tia keeps moving forward, making sure Villalobos stays a safe place for abused and abandoned dogs. Through Rabid Reality, she stays connected with her supporters, sharing updates, stories, and information about ongoing rescue efforts. While the journey has been tough, her mission has never changed. She has faced storms, money problems, betrayals, and legal battles, but her passion for saving animals has never weakened. The Crescent City 5's victory isn't just a legal win. It's a symbol of everything Tia stands for: strength, perseverance, and an unbreakable love for the animals that depend on her. Tia Torres' bold move after TV's end. With relentless determination and strong backing from her supporters, Tia Torres, the heart and soul of Pit Bulls and Parolees, found herself in a difficult situation when the show ended unexpectedly. For years, the series had been a crucial source of awareness and financial support for Villalobos Rescue Center. However, a combination of setbacks, including the COVID-19 pandemic, a corporate buyout, and business decisions beyond her control, led to its cancellation. This sudden loss left Tia and her team struggling to keep the nearly 30-year-old rescue afloat. Without the steady stream of donations and adoptions that the show generated, financial concerns grew quickly, especially since filming had already stopped more than a year before the official cancellation. Hopes for another season and early rumors about Animal Planet being sold only added to the uncertainty. Facing a financial crisis, Tia turned to the loyal online community she had built through Pit Bulls and Parolees. Instead of depending on major networks, which she believed didn't fully grasp the needs of true animal advocates, she set her sights on a more independent and direct way to generate support. This vision led to Rabid Reality, a non-profit subscription-based streaming service, SVOD, dedicated to funding Villalobos Rescue Center. To bring this idea to life, she teamed up with Early Release Media, ERM, a production company, and officially launched Rabid Reality. This was a groundbreaking project, the first streaming platform solely created to support animal rescue efforts. Subscribers gained access to a wide variety of exclusive content, including never-before-seen footage featuring the Pit Bulls and Parolees cast, as well as brand new programs. Some of the featured series included Life with the Underdogs, which documented ongoing rescue operations, and The Big Easy Boys, a travel show following fan-favorite parolees exploring New Orleans. There were also video podcasts like Cell Dogs and Dog Diaries, offering an inside look at life at Villalobos. Additionally, Pit Bulls, Parolees, and a producer served as a companion podcast to the original Animal Planet show. The platform was designed to be widely accessible through smart TVs, mobile apps, and a dedicated website. To make it easier for people to support the rescue, Rabid Reality offered 4 different subscription tiers to fit a range of budgets. ERM played a much bigger role than just producing content. They built an entire streaming infrastructure from scratch, which gave Tia complete control over how the content was created, distributed, and tailored to different audiences. At first, Tia was excited about this new venture. She saw Rabid Reality as a way to keep her mission alive, share real rescue stories without restrictions, and create a stable future for Villalobos. She had big plans for fresh shows, engaging podcasts, and deeper connections with her supporters. But despite its promise, Rabid Reality shut down less than a year after launch. Tia's shift in strategy. Although it was a tough decision, Tia explained that shutting down Rabid Reality was necessary to cut costs and create a better experience for supporters. The platform had been struggling with serious technical issues, leading to frequent complaints from subscribers. After weighing the challenges, she decided to switch to a simpler and more sustainable model. Instead of continuing with Rabid Reality, Tia redirected her audience to her already established Patreon account, a move she had originally considered before teaming up with Early Release Media, ERM. In addition, she launched a new YouTube channel for Villalobos Rescue Center, where much of the same content would be available for viewers. Understanding the disappointment this sudden change caused, Tia publicly apologized, explaining that creative differences between her and some of the Rabid Reality team members played a key role in its downfall. She shared that she preferred a more straightforward and user-friendly approach for her audience. To make things right, refunds were offered to subscribers who were unable to fully enjoy the platform before it shut down. Despite Rabid Reality coming to an end, Tia's dedication to Villalobos Rescue Center never wavered. She continued releasing content through Patreon and YouTube, including fan-favorite shows like Life with the Underdogs. She also introduced new podcasts, such as Tia Talk, Torres Unmuzzled, and 25 to Wife, where she shared personal experiences, behind-the-scenes rescue stories, and insights into dog care. One of the more unique additions was Moto Maidens, a documentary-style series that followed an all-female biker gang. This downsized approach helped cut costs while giving Tia more creative freedom. Rather than relying on an expensive streaming platform, supporters could now contribute through monthly Patreon subscriptions ranging from $3 to $25, helping sustain the rescue without the heavy overhead of running a full-scale streaming service. While this new strategy may not have been as expansive as her original vision, it provided a more stable and long-term solution for both Tia and Villalobos Rescue Center. But it raises an important question. Could a different plan have saved Rabid Reality, or were the obstacles simply too great to overcome? Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about Tia Torres' journey after Pit Bulls and Parolees? Do you believe the show should have continued? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. And before you go, check out one of these videos on your screen for more incredible stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.